Hello and welcome to the Certified Ethical Hacker Study Guide. In this video, we will discuss Chapter 5.1 Summary and Review Questions. Please like, subscribe, and hit the notification bell. Now let's ride our way into the first topic. After this short break. Port scanning. Port scanning, also referred to as service scanning, is the process of examining a range of IP addresses to determine what services are running on a network. Open ports on a computer can identify the services running on it. For example, HTTP uses port 80 to connect to a web service. Instead of pinging each IP address in a range of addresses and waiting for an ICMP echo reply, type 0, to see whether a computer can be reached, you can use scanning tools to simplify this procedure. After all, pinging several thousand IP addresses manually is time-consuming. Port scanning tools can be complex, so you need to devote time to learning their strengths and weaknesses and understanding how and when you should use these tools. In this module, you look at port scanning tools that enable you to identify services running on a network and use this knowledge to conduct a security test. In addition, you see how to use shell scripting to automate ping sweeps and other security testing tasks. Recall that you can perform a zone transfer with the dig command to determine a network's IP addresses. Suppose the zone transfer indicates that a company is using a subnetted Class C address with 126 available host IP addresses. How do you verify whether all these addresses are being used by computers that are up and running? You use a port scanner to ping the range of IP addresses you discovered. A more important question a security tester should ask is, what services are running on the computers that were identified? Port scanning is a method of finding out which services a host computer offers. For example, if a server is hosting a website, is it likely that the server has port 443 and perhaps port 80 open? Are any of the services vulnerable to attacks or exploits? Are any services not being filtered by a firewall, thus making it possible to load a Trojan that can send information from the attacked computer? Which computer is most vulnerable to an attack? You already know how to search for known vulnerabilities using the Common Vulnerabilities and Exposures and US CERT, www.us-cert.gov, websites. You can also use port scanning tools that identify vulnerabilities. For example, Angry IP Scanner, angryip.org, a free port scanner with a GUI interface, see Figure 5, 1. Using this tool, an attacker can quickly identify an open port and then launch an exploit to attack the system. Now let's jump into the next topic right after this short break. More about port scanning. As a security tester, you need to know which ports attackers are going after so you can close and protect those ports. Security testers must scan all ports when doing a test, not just the well-known ports. Many programs use port numbers outside the range of well-known ports. For example, TeamViewer, a well-known PC remote control program, operates on ports 5938, 443, and 80. A hacker who discovers that port 5938 is open can check the information at the CVE website for a possible vulnerability in TeamViewer. After a hacker discovers an open service, finding a vulnerability or exploit is not difficult, especially when systems are out of date and unpatched. Port scanning helps you answer questions about open ports and services by enabling you to scan thousands or even tens of thousands of IP addresses quickly. Many port scanning tools produce reports of their findings, and some give you best guess assessments of which OS is running on a system. Most, if not all, scanning programs report open ports, closed ports, and filtered ports in a matter of seconds. An open port allows access to applications and can be vulnerable to an attack. When a web server needs to communicate with applications or other computers, for example, port 443 is opened. A closed port doesn't allow entry or access to a service. For instance, if ports 443 and 80 are closed on a web server, users can't access websites. A port reported as filtered might indicate that a firewall is being used to allow specified traffic into or out of the network. Now let's grind into the next topic, right after this short break. Types of port scans. Before delving into using port scanning tools, look at the types of scans that can be used for port scanning. Before delving into using port scanning tools, look at the types of scans that can be used for port scanning. SYN scan. In a normal TCP session, a packet is sent to another computer with the SYN flag set. The receiving computer sends back a packet with the SYN-ACK flag set, indicating an acknowledgement. The sending computer then sends a packet with the ATK flag set. If the SYN packet is sent to a closed port, the computer responds with an SYN-ACK reset acknowledgement packet. If an attacker's computer receives a SYN-ATK packet, it responds quickly with an SYN-ACK packet, closing the session. This is done so that a full TCP connection is never made and logged as a transaction. In this sense, it's stealthy. After all, attackers don't want a transaction logged showing their connection to the attacked computer and listing their IP addresses. Connect scan. This type of scan relies on the attacked computer's OS, so it's riskier to use. A connect scan is similar to a SYN scan, except that it completes the three-way handshake. This means the attacked computer most likely logs the transaction or connection, indicating that a session took place. Therefore, unlike a SYN scan, a connect scan isn't stealthy and can be detected easily. Null scan. In a null scan, all packet flags are turned off. A closed port responds to a null scan with an RST packet, so if no packet is received, the best guess is that the port is open. Windows, however, does not follow the standard and might respond in an unexpected way. Null scan. In a null scan, all packet flags are turned off. A closed port responds to a null scan with an RST packet, so if no packet is received, the best guess is that the port is open. Windows, however, does not follow the standard and might respond in an unexpected way. Now let's slide into the next topic, right after this short break. XMS scan. In this type of scan, the FIN, PSH, and URG flags are set. Closed ports respond to this type of packet with an RST packet. This scan can be used to determine which ports are open. For example, an attacker could send this packet to port 53 on a system and see whether an RST packet is returned. If not, the DNS port might be open. Again, Windows does not follow the standard and responds randomly to XMS scans. ACK scan. Attackers typically use ACK scans to get past a firewall or other filtering device. A filtering device looks for the SYN packet, the first packet in the three-way handshake that the ACK packet was part of. Remember this packet order: SYN, SYN-ACK, and ATK. If the attacked port returns an RST packet, the packet filter was fooled, or there's no packet filtering device. In either case, the attacked port is considered to be unfiltered. FIN scan. In this type of scan, a FIN packet is sent to the target computer. If the port is closed, it sends back an RST packet. When a three-way handshake ends, both parties send a FIN packet to end the connection. UDP scan. In this type of scan, a UDP packet is sent to the target computer. If the port sends back an ICMP port unreachable message, the port is closed. Again, not receiving that message might imply the port is open, but this isn't always true. A firewall or packet filtering device could undermine your assumptions. A computer that receives a SYN packet from a remote computer responds with a SYN-ACK packet if its port is open. In a three-way handshake, a SYN packet is sent from one computer, a SYN-ATK is sent from the receiving computer to the sender, and finally, the sender sends an ATK packet to the receiving computer. If a port is closed and receives a SYN packet, it sends back an RST-AK packet. Determining whether a port is filtered is more complex. Many scanning tools, such as Nmap, use a best guess approach. That is, if a UDP packet doesn't receive a response from the receiving port, many scanning tools report that the port is open. If you find this video useful, please hit the like button, leave a comment, and subscribe to the channel. To see more videos like this, please click in the rectangle in the middle of your screen. Thanks for watching. See you on the next one.